Even down here, I'm rocking and bopping and jamming to the music. How's everybody doing on this really slow Thursday? Yes, I am live down here on the floor in the S&P 500 pit, and boy, volume is perhaps the lowest volume of the year. I know I've said that a few times this summer already, but uh, boy, it is really brutal. Can everyone see and hear me out there? Okay, Mike is telling me yes. Just give me something in the chat. There we go. Hey there, Brad. Thank you. Thank you. So here we are. Five. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking up at the volumes here, and the volumes are minimal. What is really interesting is we saw the VIX dip down below 15, traded 14.95. That is the lowest we have seen it in 6 months. It's currently trading just a tad above 15, but it did dip down to 14.95. S&Ps have been mostly unchanged during the day. We saw, rally early on. Um, I don't know, it was about 10:30 or so Central Time. Saw the market sell off a little bit, and by sell off I mean that S&Ps went kind of to the flat line, and Google kind of almost went back unchanged, and that's now up. So really, it is as busy as we have been, and I'm not saying the market overall and these guys down here, but as busy as we have been over the last days and couple weeks, even while the market hasn't been busy today, boy, oh boy, there is really nothing going on. And sometimes that happens. And many times, and it's hard for people to understand because we always want to, have our skin in the game. We always want to be active. But many times the best trade is no trade. All right, everybody. With that, we are going to do a little bit of a continuation from yesterday. Okay, Mike, is that looking good on the screen here? Okay, there we go. So first, smash away, please. Subscribe. Every time you guys do that, it helps as you hear ad nauseum from me. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue what we started yesterday with gamma and especially the meme stock mania. Yes, it is back, folks. Don't know if it's going to last, through the summer, if it's going to last while the markets are, pretty close to all-time highs. The meme stocks are back. What is that? Oh yeah, ebb and flow, Brad, for sure, for sure. So there's a few out there that are happening right now. Okay. If you look at some of the options volume and what some of these stocks have done, there's more than this. These are the four that kind of are front and center in the news right now and on the tape, and where there's a lot of option activity. Kohl's, Open Door, Krispy Kreme, those three have been out there for a while. American Eagle just started kind of popping over the last day or two. So we'll look at some live charts on that. But these are the four that we are going to focus in on. And yesterday we discussed one of the kind of characteristics of these meme stocks is really low float, meaning not a lot of shares outstanding for people to trade. And if you look at these, then you'll see that is the case here as well. So it's not just me. These are all headlines from this morning and news clips from this morning about the meme stock culture. And is it here again? What's going on? Welcome back 2021. Meme stocks are back. Excuse me. Stocks are at all-time highs. Chatter on Wall Street bets is surging. Retail traders are flooding into low-priced shares. It's not 2021, and the shares of the moment are not GameStop or AMC or the Bed Bath and Beyond. If you guys remember that one, BBYD or BBND. No, Yeah, BBND was that symbol. Now talking about Open Door, Kohl's, the others that I mentioned, and I'm just going to read through the rest of this here, talking about short squeezes on the same small cap stocks. Okay. So again, this is happening on Reddit. It's happening on Wall Street Bets. Um, this other headline, which came from Bloomberg down here, that's the one on the bottom. Safe to say that meme stocks have made a resurgence. Wednesday's session brought another pair of consumer friendly names into the fold. GoPro, which I did not have on the list. Krispy Kreme, I did. Okay. These stocks, like many other what do they say that? Meme names that have emerged this week, share a few qualities. They tend to have high short interest and drum up interest on Wall Street Bets Reddit page. Most also have, and this I didn't bring up yesterday, but now that I think about it, it's really true. Most also have built-in name brand recognition. So if you think of all of these names, okay. Um, Obviously, go back to GME and AMC, but if you think of the ones we're talking about here, maybe Open Door wasn't, as popular as the others, but the others all certainly are name brand names, right? And stocks are trading around all times highs. And that's, as I said when we first started today, is this going to continue as the market's at all-time highs, or do we kind of pull back if the market pulls back? But with the market at all-time highs, people are excited, exuberance is out there, maybe in the immortal words of Alan Greenspan, maybe some irrational exuberance, who knows? But certainly that adds to some of the speculative trade that is out there. Okay. So all you have to do is just Google meme stocks and you'll see all of the headlines that are out there. So what I want to do is start off and actually show some examples, and let's go through how positions can be affected. So I brought this up here because Kohl's is one of those that are front and center. Okay. So if we look, this is from Tuesday, total call volume soared on Tuesday. Okay. We can see that average volume is, 50,000 contracts, right? It went to 250,000 contracts on Tuesday. So let's take a look. Okay. Let's take a look here. And I just pulled this data, I don't know, half an hour ago. So Kohl's was trading 1350 at the time. Now, we are looking here at just the call side of things and just this week's expiration. So options that expire tomorrow. So 13 and a half obviously is the at the money. Now look at the open interest here, especially if you get up to right there, which is the 17 and a half strike. Okay. $4 away. Now, $4 away doesn't seem a lot, but in a $13 stock, that's a ton, right? It's 30%. Okay. Does everybody see this on here? And I'm looking over here. If everybody can let me know. Okay, because what I want to do is really focus on how a big move in the stock can affect that gamma squeeze. Okay, let me just, okay, perfect. Okay. So what happens when the stock rises? In this case, Kohl's, and we'll go through another example. Okay. So let's look at the current gamma, okay, of where these 17 and a half calls are compared to where the stock is. Okay, so let's go back here. And what I did is I added in a column for gamma. Now, as we discussed yesterday, at the money options have the highest gamma. So we can see that right in here. And the further out of the money we go, the less and less gamma Now, what is gamma again for maybe those that weren't in here yesterday or you don't remember? Gamma is the rate of change in delta. Okay. So what that means is for every $1 the stock moves, the delta of that option is going to move by the gamma. So at the money, if we go up $1 here, these options would go from a 49 basically all the way up to a 74 delta. Okay, does everybody understand that before we go into how the squeeze could happen? Okay, so at the money, 26, out of the money, okay, and all of these calls, let's call it, almost 10,000 of those, which again, 10,000 if you're talking about Nvidia, Microsoft, stock like that, that's a drop in the bucket. 10,000 for a stock like Kohl's is astronomical. What happens, okay? What happens to the delta of those call options, which right now are only slightly under 10? So traders, whoever it might be that may have sold those calls, okay, are looking at those like, those can't change. They can't hurt me. Even if the stock moves just a little bit here, what's going to happen? What's going to change? The value is going to stay pretty much the same. Well, what happens as the stock starts to move towards 17 and a half? Okay. Yes, we know the delta will increase. Okay. But if we get one of these short squeezes and we get this really, really quick, intense move, like what happens in some of these meme stocks, all of a sudden, this option that was basically a 10 delta and, probably not moving at all if the stock just, even kind of grinded, or is that a word? Grinded? I guess so. Kind of edged higher a little bit, let's call it. Okay. What happens if all of a sudden this thing is whoosh and now we're close to 17 and a half or moving on towards there? Now all of a sudden the delta, which is your hedge ratio. I know, Kevin, I think you had mentioned that before, hedge, all of a sudden, that delta of 10 becomes a delta of 50, right? So that gamma, which is really small right now, magnifies the squeeze, because now all of a sudden that delta is changing really, really quickly. So as the stock is running up, people that are short that call option, have to start hedging that. They have to start hedging those deltas. So even, let's say, circle this again here. Okay. Let's say somebody had sold 100 of those calls right here with stock, 13 and a half, whatever it is. Okay. What would be the net delta position with the stock down here at 13 and a half? Well, the market just rallied pretty much at the day's highs right now. But what would the delta position be if you or somebody was short, let's say 100 of those calls? Interesting. As the market has ticked up here, it is getting a little bit louder down here. How do we figure out that delta position, everybody? Remember okay, Kevin, you've got 85. Okay, and I appreciate you responding. Anybody else? Anybody else? Well, if we just take minus 100 times the delta of 973, my delta position would be negative 973. Okay. Does everybody understand that? We're talking about at 13 and a half where the stock is right now. If I had sold 100 of those calls, my delta would be minus 973. So in a perfect world, if I want to hedge that and I want to stay delta neutral, okay, I would buy, and we'll just round this off, I would buy 1,000 shares of stock. Okay, 1,000 shares of stock against those 100 calls that I sold, which represent negative 973 deltas. Okay, does everybody understand that? I'd love to have more people engaging here. Even if you don't understand it, let me know you don't understand it. Then I'll take a step back here. I'll take a step back. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, you're the man today. You are the man. You are on your game today. Not real sure you understand. Okay, let's wipe the screen. Do you understand that each of these options we're looking at, okay, these 17 and a half calls, where there's this massive open interest of almost 10,000 of those. Do you understand that the delta of each of those right now is 9.73? Okay, does everybody understand? For each option, one option, if you had bought one of those, you're going to be long. Essentially, we'll just round it off 10 deltas. If I sold one of those, I'm short 10 deltas. Okay, so we're just going to do this rounding it off to 10. Okay, so if I sell 100 of those call options, and each one of those call options has 10 delta, I am net short 1,000 deltas. What does that mean? That means for each dollar the stock would move. So let's say the stock moved up $1, I would lose $1,000. If it moved up $2, I'd lose $2,000. Okay, everybody on board with that? Everybody understand that? It's definitely a process here, and don't be afraid of asking, for me to review something or say, hey, I don't get it. Let's, kind of go through it again here. I want to make sure everybody understands that. Okay, it looks like there's all yeses now. And the reason I'm looking over here, guys, just so you know, normally I have a second screen right here, but silly me broke my HDMI cord and I ordered a new one and forgot to bring it down here. So I'm just working on one screen. So I'm looking at Mike's screen over here for the chat. And okay, great. So everybody understands that. So if I wanted to hedge my position against a potential move up and I wanted to stay delta neutral, the 1,000 deltas that I had, or the negative 1,000 deltas I had from selling those call options, I could hedge that by buying 1,000 shares of stock. Okay. So right there, delta neutral. Perfect. Okay. Now, what happens? What happens if the stock goes to 17 and a half? Or, we're going to use 17 and a half because that's the strike here. So the stock goes to 17 and a half. Okay. What would the new delta of that option be? Okay, what would the delta of that new option be? Everybody should have the answer for this one. Okay, Bear, take that. Perfect. Perfect. Kevin, perfect. Right? If the stock is right at the money, or if the option is right at the money where the stock is trading, it's 50 delta, right? Pretty clear, right? Just like with the stock 13 and a half where it is right now, we could look at that and we were, 49 delta, right? So now what happens? Stock moves, in a violent move up to 17 and a half. Let's check those delta positions. Now, the 100 calls that I sold, if each of those are now 50 delta, I now have a short 5,000 deltas from the call position. Okay, wait, what is that you making with garlic and oil? Aladdin, why you do that to me, kid? That sounds great. That sounds great. Okay, so if the stock moves up there, now my option delta goes from negative 1,000 to negative 5,000, but my hedge that I had is still only 1,000 shares of stock. So now I'm net short 4,000 deltas, right? I'm at risk now for if the stock keeps going higher and higher and higher of not being delta neutral anymore. Now, if stock moves up a buck, I lose $4,000, probably a little more because the gamma of that option is going to increase the delta. So I'm not hedged any longer. This is how the squeeze happens when the deltas get so out of whack from the option position to a hedge position. And maybe some of these people didn't even have stock at all, right? To that they bought to hedge at the beginning. Maybe they're just short the naked calls. But even if they did buy 1,000 shares of stock to hedge those deltas, now all of a sudden they're short 4,000. They got to run in and hedge that position somehow. Does that make sense? That in and of itself is the vicious circle, which causes the short squeeze. So when the stock is running up, and now all of a sudden you can imagine all these people that have to, cover their deltas running in to try and buy stock, and especially in a case where there's not a lot of outstanding open shares, right? The low float. So lots of demand and very little supply. That fuels the fire even more to push the stock higher. Okay. So that is an example, a real live example of all these options that are open and what could potentially happen there. Okay. So we're going to come back to the presentation, but let's get Thor and his word of the day. I couldn't think of anything cute today. I could have put meme in there, but figure since we're talking about coals, it's getting busy here. What is going on? And it's not just one order. It's like every set of brokers here all of a sudden. Uh, it sounds like the crowd. That when I say the crowd, that means the market makers out here. Sounds like they really, really, really are trying to buy some calls. Purest form of capitalism there is, folks. You're witnessing it live right here. Okay, does everybody understand that? what we just went through with the delta, gamma. Mike, can you post up the link to? So I wrote a piece a year ago. I wrote a piece a year ago for the CBOE on meme stocks. Mike's going to post up in the chat right now a link. So if anybody just kind of wants to read, okay, this was I think last year, it was around May, I think. Last year, GameStop had a little blip of time there where it was going nuts again. And people were talking about, potential reliving 2021. So there's a link there. Let's look really quickly here, guys. Let's look really quickly at American Eagle.
Yeah, right. Sounds good. Kind of shook it up. Good piece, but
Okay, American Eagle is one of the
yeah, it seems like
stocks that I had talked about as being a memer. Okay, and if we focus in here, okay, look at this move right here. 2 days from, a stock that didn't move, down 9.5 up to $12. Massive move. That's 25-30% move. Now look at all of these upside calls which expire tomorrow. And then if we go even further out, hang on, and we go to, this is regular August expiration. What if all of a sudden these start to come into play? Or let's look at Krispy Kreme. Okay. It's lunchtime. We could all talk about donuts. Okay. Krispy Kreme trading $4.40 right now. Look at the August 15th expiration. Look at all of these call options from basically $7.50 and higher that are out there. What happens? What happens if that stock starts to pump? Okay, listen, I'm going to divert for a second here because I just got a text from my buddy, who's one of the brokers in the VIX pit. August 16 put tied to 18 in the VIX. That's the August future. Okay. Someone just came in and bought those 40,000 times. So looks like someone is looking for vol to increase. Because what that means is they bought 40,000 of the August 16 puts, and they also bought the delta equivalency of stock at 18, or VIX futures at 18. So anyway, if you guys have any more questions on the memes, on how to potentially trade them, is there opportunity, gamma squeeze, all that good stuff, okay, just let me know. Now, the wheel is closed, okay? And before I go to the wheel, tonight we have a webinar. Michael Patton, our prop trading coach, is putting on a webinar tonight. For those of you that don't know what prop trading is basically you trade with someone else's money. And that's something that we offer to people. It's called our Funder, Fundr program. Mike Patton will be doing a live webby showing everybody how you can get funded up to $250,000. That's not a misprint, where you can trade stocks or options. And you have zero downside and 80% of the upside. I know it sounds too good to be true. It is legit. It's real. If you're interested, you can tune in tonight. I think Michael Clark just put a link in the chat, and now it is time. And Mike, yeah, I really got to get this other cord and get this other screen up here. Now it is time to go to Market Minds and get.
God, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay, great. Amazing. Amazing. I didn't know you had it. There we go. The wheel is in motion, folks. The wheel is in motion. And Todd, Todd, are you in the house? Are you in the house? And while we're waiting for Todd here, I don't know if he's responded. I literally, as we speak right now, just got a text back from the lead singer of the band. And I am asking him, I don't know if he'll be able to do it tomorrow, but either tomorrow or Monday, I have a favor to ask of you. He responded back saying, "Hey, brother, I'm good. I created a show called Sing Danny. His name is Danny. Todd's here. Excellent. Because he needed something to do between tours. So I'm imagining that he will have time to do this either tomorrow or Monday. I'm going to give him another 30 seconds or so to respond, and we'll let everybody know. If not, then tomorrow might be just a surprise for everybody, or Monday. But for those that don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday I asked everybody if the music that we play on the intro here, which is a cover of the song Fantasy from Earth, Wind, and Fire. This cover is from the band that I'm involved with, my really close Russian friends that sing a lot of Chicago songs, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I asked the lead singer from the band if he would do a cameo for us and have him do the intro. Khaled, no, Thunder is not on True Edge anymore. Not on True Edge anymore. And Mike Patton will go through that tonight. All right, he has not responded back yet, guys, but you never know. We might have a surprise for you tomorrow on Friday. If not, we'll do it Monday, Tuesday, whenever he is free, whenever he is available. I'm sure he will do it. All right, everybody. Appreciate, yeah, Nostrovia, yeah, and they definitely like to put him back, if you know what I mean, if you know. So, all right, everybody, have a fantastic rest of the day, and we will see you. Oh, wait, before I leave, oh my goodness, I almost forgot. I will be at 2 o'clock Central Time, so about an hour and a half, choose about 2:01. Okay. Did Todd not? Did Todd?
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You need to put up. Thanks, Bill. The address for Todd to. I'm going through so many things here. Mike's going to put that up here right now for you, Todd. Where to send the an email to? 2:01 Central Time. I will be literally right up here where I'm pointing, up here just above the pit here, live with Liz Clayman on Fox Business. If anybody would like to tune in, I will be back down here live with her at 2:01. Now, with that, I will say have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.